Welcome, it's Brian Burke here from Thrive Now. We're currently undertaking the course Listening to Thrive, and right now we're looking at what it means to be a holistic listener. On that journey, I want to introduce a new idea, and that is for our listening to develop to become great listeners, we actually need to consider a transition in our lives. And that is our willingness to be able to move from the listening wrestle mat to the listening dance floor. I know it seems like a strange concept, but I want to just make this real and personal and authentic. And that is that a lot of our listening resembles more a wrestling match. It resembles more that we feel that we're wrestling with someone about what's been said and what we're hearing and so forth. Wrestling, the sport of wrestling, also involves terms such as grapplings and takedowns. And I don't know about you, but sometimes listening can feel like that. We feel like we're grappling to understand something, or we feel like that the other person's trying to take us down, and we're doing that. And that's the issue with wrestling and listening as wrestlers. And the core issue with the idea of wrestling is that it's combative. It's not cooperative. We're not cooperating with the person that we're wrestling with because we know that we feel that they're not after our own well-being, and that's a difficulty. See, listening from the posture of wrestling is listening defensively, and it doesn't get us very far. So I say that because I want you to be able to get a picture and illustrate that to move and to shift into becoming great listeners is in part to shift the way we view listening, and even to let go of some of, if you could say, our listening behaviors that might resemble more of being a wrestler than a dancer. Now, if we think about dancing, that's very different. There's a cooperation between the two dancers, and I'd suggest to you that that's the place that listening best works, that there's a cooperation. If I listen like a wrestler, it only sets me up for a hollow victory or a lonely defeat. But if I listen as someone who's a dancer, then we can both know success and well-being. You see, listening as a wrestler is just shallow because I'm not valuing the person that's there. In fact, I'm kind of defensive. I'm separated. But if I listen as someone who's dancing, I'm valuing the chance to be present with the person who's communicating to me, the speaker. That's a significant shift in the way that we look at listening, is to be able to value being present with someone as opposed to trying to get something from someone. Now, it might seem that shifting to listening as someone who's dancing would seem really preferable, that we'd all want to do it. But again, we need to be honest. That's not the case, because sometimes listening like a wrestler has, well, some things attached to it that make it the preferred option in some cases. I'm not saying that it is the best option, but sometimes we can see it that way, perhaps not for our own well-being. I'll give you an example. If I win as a listener in a wrestling style, I might be able to celebrate the short-term victory of winning. Yeah, but it doesn't mean much, because in the long term, my relationship might be not benefit from it there. But sometimes we want to go after the short-term victory. We need to be honest. Sometimes we want to go after the sense of adrenaline. Sometimes we want to go after the sense of I told you so, or I proved myself right, the sense of victory against someone. And that's where we need to be able to take a pause and go, oh, hold on now. Well, why am I listening right now? Am I listening as a wrestler, or am I listening as someone who's trying to dance? Am I listening to try and achieve my own short-term success, which might be against my long-term goals? For example, if I'm in a relationship such as a marriage, I might be tempted to listen to a wrestler to extract and achieve a pin down that I got my partner where I wanted them, but at the expense of the peace and joy and a long-term harmony in the relationship that I'm after. The other issue we've seen life and listening as wrestling is sometimes if I experience several defeats, I can be drawn to the image of myself that I'm just a failure, that I'm no good at listening. So I actually start to withdraw from that listening process because I'm just going to really believe that it doesn't matter, I'm just going to fail the next time. So I actually don't bring my whole self to listening. I keep some of myself separate because, well, what's the use? And that's the part too where I want to say that moving from the wrestling mat to the wrestling dance floor takes courage. It takes the courage to believe that, yes, I can and I will know and experience the joy of dancing, of listening well as a dancer. And I can be whole in my listening. I can experience the mutual benefit from listening. So that's the difference from being a listener that listens as a wrestler compared to a listener who is a dancer. And in the next time we catch up, we're going to talk more about what it really does look like to be a listener who listens as a dancer. Thank you for the time today. I look forward to catching up next time. Catch you later. Bye-bye.